Welcome to the Snipecast, episode 5, and a bit of a bonus outing. This was Friday. A horrific storm had passed through during the day, left torrents and floods all over the county. My Teasel was a bit heavy because I didn't really plan to fly him today. It was going to be an off day, but as it cleared out, we went out, and pretty perfect conditions apart from the constant fear of a biblical shower coming in. But it didn't, and we found a point, and we soon had both Teasels waiting on overhead, including Odin, the newly coined wild Teasel. Easy just calling him the wild Teasel all the time. Might as well give him some kind of name. This is a really good snipe coming up. He manages to evade both the dog and both Teasels. I've turned the sound up on the flush because you might just hear the rush of the stoops coming past the camera, particularly the Odin stoop.
Get him.
This is a proper snipe. It really had its spinach. It could have put in at any time, but it chose to contest the sky and did a U-turn here and took off for the heavens, and the Teasels let it be on its way. God, that was close. She's almost as sharp as the Teasels are in the footing department. That was very close as well. He nearly got it, Odin, then. But anyway, that snipe escaped. Good luck to it. And we moved on. And we moved on downhill into this swampy area, and the dog got another nice point. We're starting to get near cover this far down the bog. There's quite a lot of gorse bushes and reed beds and whatnot at the bottom of this bog, so I was starting to get a bit concerned that they wouldn't get down to it in time, or certainly the wild Teasel, because he always gets higher and higher the nearer I get to the dog. A bit like my Teasel, when he's in the mood, you start to approach the dog, they start to furiously mount higher and higher, and the wild Teasel gets very high very quickly. This snipe had run on a bit, so the first flush, it wasn't where it was supposed to be. Should have been there, it wasn't there, so she moved on a bit, and she's quite good at finding them in the end, and she found it again. Just waiting for my Teasel to come back in position, because he'd done his little downwind backcast. Another good snipe. Really deserved to get away, this one, and thought it had got away because it put into those gorse bushes, and that should have been that. I was going to leave it, but the dog went down and relocated it, and I would have called the dog off. The wild Teasel again very close there to bind into the snipe. The dog actually put the snipe out, or it flushed, and they were waiting on overhead, and the wild Teasel put it in and he killed it on the ground. Not the most stylish of kills, but certainly still good for morale. You can't overstate the importance of killing the odd snipe now and again. So we fed him up. Lovely night walking home. Odin came back over and waited on over us as we were walking back to the car, so I let the dog off just to see if we could pick up a loose one. Obviously quite hungry, or else he would have gone to roost, so we gave it one last try. The dog was finding some scent down in a grassy bit and managed to pin a snipe. Again, we could have done without the Teasel mountain quite so high here, because it all ends up far away and over the hill, or over the hill and far away, whatever the expression is. His usual tactic is to stoop straight down at the ground and then catapult himself forward really low over the ground, trying to either come up and under the snipe or to ambush it or sneak up on it. As you'll see here, he stoops right down my throat, hugging the ground, following where the snipe went. I'll keep quiet here because you might pick up again the sound on the camera as he stoops past. cover here somewhere. It looked like it dumped in because he was in the mood to chase that for as long as it took until he caught it. It would obviously put in somewhere and made its escape. And so that was that. Maybe a hungry tassel going to bed. So the next day, my tassel was sleeping off a belly full of snipe and too high to, or too fat to fly. I like to fly maybe 2 days, give him a big feed up, and then let his appetite come back when he's emptied himself out. So today turned out to be quite a typical Odin day. We've had quite a few of these now over the past, well, certainly since the end of his first year, where I would go out with just a dog and we would end up with just a wild tassel waiting on over us, and we could go for half an hour, 45 minutes with multiple flushes until we caught a snipe. I flushed a couple of snipe today and I didn't think he was coming into play, but then after the second snipe I saw him rushing over from far away, so we carried on. And we'd obviously had a fall of snipe overnight because we found a few. It took a couple of attempts to get this snipe up. It was quite windy. I tried to, for a change, film some stoops. I think the snipe goes any second now. I think the snipe puts in. Well, it obviously does put in because big throw up and no chase. I think I actually bumped this snipe walking down. I think I walked into it. And again, the tassel was a bit downwind, but they can do what our trained tassels can't do, and they can convert their speed into a long flat chase and still catch a snipe at the end of it, where it's difficult for trained tassels to catch them in this manner because they seem to need a big speed differential. They need to kind of stoop into the snipe to kind of negate their dodgy manoeuvres, whereas these wild tassels seem to have all the footing skills and chase skills and power to be able to counteract the snipe's move. I think that's a snipe made cover down in the valley there. Tassel came back overhead and we worked on. I think the dog's coming up on a point here. This was another good snipe. Took to the sky and took on the tassel in a duel. He's up there somewhere again, getting very high each time. Strong updraft. It gets high very quickly. It'd probably be about 1,000 feet, I guess. Again, I was trying to kind of shove the dog on with my toe end while trying to keep the tassel in the shot. Nope, there it goes. Good old snipe. It could have put into all those woods and trees and gorse bushes, but it took to the sky, or maybe the tassel cut it off, but anyway it came back into the open ground. A bit of a dogfight. In his first season, the tassel would regularly take these on and keep chasing him to the ends of the earth until he caught them, and he often did. And I'd often see him disappear out of sight, and then 10 minutes later you'd see him coming back carrying the snipe. As with most hawks, I guess, they start to back clever a bit, and I think now he's starting to realise most of the time that it's easy just to break off and come back, and Muggins will flush him another one rather than expend all the energy of huge chases. So I think he breaks off here somewhere. Yeah, I think he's broken off. And so we carry on again. Actually took us quite a bit to find the next one. We worked through all this lower bog and didn't find a thing, which is a bit of a surprise. So we moved on, and probably about a good 3/4 of a mile away, and probably about 20 minutes later we came across a little pocket. This one sat really tightly. Took a bit to flush it. It must have been right on the end of the dog's nose, because one of those ones where I've got to walk right into it until she'll flush. I think it puts in this one anyway. Down in some rushes. I wasn't going to walk all the way down and flush it. I was kind of trying to head back to the car by this point, and we were fairly tired by this point, so yeah, that one put in. And then we're working down. The dog had some scent and actually bumped this next snipe. I think I managed to catch it just on the iPhone. This one he chased into the distance. There it goes. It's long, flat chase. Chased this right down into those green fields. Don't know what happened. Didn't catch it. Came back again. He'll do this all afternoon. By now, I mean, it took a few months to build up this kind of behaviour. Obviously, we've been chasing snipe and then disappearing, chasing snipe and waiting on for a wee bit, and then waiting on for longer and longer periods over the course of his first season, to the point where last year, right from the beginning, and this year he'll just wait on as well as any trained hawk. And I was totally exhausted by this point, but we were nearly back to the car, and the dog picked up another one. Although this was scuttling about on the ground, this snipe, in all this white grass. Generally though, with grouse and snipe, if your dog thinks there's something there, it's always worth sending a dog off downwind, because they've nearly always run downwind. They seem to know, or naturally know, the way to chuck a predator off the scent. But anyway, the dog worked downwind and then bumped the snipe, and Tace will put it in here, I think. Put into some reeds. And then just now, out of shot, the dog flushes another one, and I don't get this on camera because I turned the phone off, but the dog flushes another snipe, which the Tace just chased from that where he is now right into the distance, and I think he caught it because he was gone for about 20 minutes. And just as we were getting back to the car, he came back over again. So whether he'd stashed that snipe and was coming back for more, I don't know, but we'd had enough. So we're hiding in the car now. Can't take any more. Me or the dog. Been driven to submission by the wild Tace. He's still out there somewhere waiting on. He's got more stamina than us. I think he caught one snipe and went and stashed it, and then came back right at the end. But hey, that's enough for one day. More than enough fun.